The clock above the dusty garage door struck 7 p.m. Sam wiped grease from his hands, ready to lock up. Another long day, just him and little Ellie, his 6-year-old daughter who'd been quietly sketching in the corner, wrapped in an old army jacket far too big for her. Just as he reached for the light switch, there was a knock. A flustered young woman stood at the entrance, her flannel shirt stained with mud and her boots caked from the fields. "Truck won't start," she said breathlessly. "And I have animals waiting for feed. Please, can you help?" Sam hesitated. The job meant dinner would be even later, and he barely had food in the fridge. But Ellie looked up at him, eyes wide. He remembered her lunch was just bread today. He nodded, popped the hood. An hour later, under the fading light, Sam had the truck running. The woman watched silently, her eyes not missing how thin his frame was or how gently he bundled Ellie into his arms when she started to nod off. "How much do I owe you?" she asked, reaching for her wallet. Sam shook his head. "You needed help. That's enough." She paused, stunned. No one ever said that. Not to her. Not without wanting something. "At least take this," she insisted, pressing a small note into his hand before climbing into the truck. He didn't look at it until she drove off. It was a $100 bill. Tucked inside, a hand-drawn thank you note. Signed, Emily Dawson. The next morning, Sam sat at the kitchen table, still staring at the name scribbled beneath the thank you note, Emily Dawson. It rang a bell, but he couldn't place it. He folded the note and slid it into the old coffee can where he kept spare change, next to Ellie's crayon drawings and a few unpaid bills. By noon, he was elbow-deep in a busted radiator when a sleek black SUV pulled into his lot, totally out of place in the sleepy rural town of Maple Hollow. Emily stepped out, looking cleaner, calmer, yet still down to earth. She carried a bag in one hand and a soft smile in the other. "I figured you and Ellie could use something hot," she said, handing him a basket packed with homemade sandwiches, cookies, and 2 thermoses of fresh soup. Sam blinked. "You didn't have to. I wanted to," she said gently. "You helped me. Let me help back." Ellie peeked from behind the toolbox, then darted out at the sight of cookies. Emily knelt to her level. "You must be Ellie. Your drawing was the best part of yesterday." Ellie beamed, holding up a crayon-sketched truck. "Daddy fixed your engine." Emily laughed. "He sure did. He's kind of a hero, huh?" Sam felt something shift, an unfamiliar warmth. Most people saw his worn boots, oil-stained hands, and struggling shop. Emily saw more. As she stood to leave, Sam asked, "So, your farm, is it nearby?" Emily paused. "Well, it's not mine exactly. It's my father's. I'm helping while he's traveling." She didn't mention the truth. The Dawson estate wasn't just a farm. It was a multi-million-dollar agricultural empire that funded half the county. But for now, she just smiled and said, "I'll be around." And for the first time in a long while, Sam hoped she would be. Over the next few days, Emily kept showing up. Sometimes it was a flat tire from a bumpy road. Other times, she'd bring over extra produce, saying the farm had more than they could sell. Sam wasn't stupid. He knew she didn't need anything fixed that often. But he also didn't have the heart to call her out. Truth was, he didn't mind. Neither did Ellie, who had started calling Emily Miss Emmy, and insisted on showing her every single drawing she made. One afternoon, while Sam replaced brake pads on an old Chevy, Emily leaned against the garage wall, watching him work. "You always wanted to be a mechanic?" she asked. Sam shrugged. Didn't have many choices. Dropped out to raise Ellie when her mom left. Guess fixing broken things was all I got good at. Emily's face softened. "You didn't fix something. You held something together." He glanced at her, surprised by the quiet respect in her tone. She wasn't pitying him, she was admiring him. Later, Emily offered to give them a ride to the grocery store. Sam hesitated. He was used to walking miles with Ellie just to save gas. But he finally agreed. On the ride back, Ellie fell asleep in the back seat, clutching her sketch pad. Emily glanced over. "You know, she's really talented." Sam nodded. "She's got her mom's creativity. But everything else, that fire, that heart, that's all her." They pulled up to his trailer. She looked at the peeling paint, the broken porch light, the silence surrounding them. "You live here?" she asked softly. Sam only nodded. Emily didn't speak. But something flickered in her eyes, realization. And perhaps the decision. Not just about Sam, but about how much she was willing to risk for someone who had given without asking. A week later, Emily brought Sam an old tractor engine to refurbish. No rush, she said casually. Just thought you might enjoy the project. But it wasn't just a project. It was rare, vintage, and worth thousands. Sam raised an eyebrow. You sure you want me touching this? Emily grinned. You're the best mechanic I know. He chuckled. You must not know many. Still, he took it on, and they began spending more time together, talking, laughing, building something neither of them could name. But the more Emily cared, the heavier her secret became. She wasn't just a farmer's daughter. She was Emily Dawson, sole heir to Dawson Harvests, the largest private agricultural company in the region. Her helping on the farm was part of a quiet plan to understand the business from the ground up, without revealing who she really was. She hadn't meant to get attached. But Sam's humility, the way he put Ellie first, how he fixed more than engines, he mended people too, without even trying. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in gold, Emily watched Sam teaching Ellie how to use a wrench. Ellie giggled when he let her fix a bolt, proud as if she'd saved the world. Emily's chest tightened. This wasn't just admiration anymore. It was deeper, real. The next day, a glossy black car rolled into the garage, sleek, silent, and nothing like the dusty farm truck. An older man stepped out, tailored suit, sharp eyes. Samuel Keller? He asked. Sam stood up, wiping his hands. Yeah. The man extended a card. I'm Thomas Grady. I represent Dawson Holdings. Our CEO would like to speak with you. Sam froze. CEO? Dawson Holdings? The name hit him like a freight train. Sam stared at the business card in his oil-stained hand. CEO? Dawson Holdings? He turned to see Emily stepping out from behind the car, no longer in flannel and boots, but in a crisp blazer, hair swept back, eyes soft with guilt, and something more. I was going to tell you, she said gently. I just didn't want you to treat me differently. Sam didn't say a word. Ellie clung to his side, confused. Emily stepped closer. Everything I told you is true. I did grow up on the farm. I did feed those animals. But I also run the company now. I needed to see the world outside boardrooms. To remember who we serve. You tested me? Sam asked quietly. No, she said. I found you. Her voice cracked. I found someone kind, who helps without asking, who raises his daughter with more love than most kids ever know. You reminded me what matters. Sam sighed, glancing at Ellie. I don't have much to give, Emily. You've already given everything, she said. Let me give something back. 2 weeks later, the garage wore a fresh coat of paint. New tools, new tires. A sign out front, Keller and Daughter Auto Repair. Paid for, quietly, by Dawson Holdings. Emily showed up often. No fancy cars, no titles. Just a woman who brought cookies and rolled up her sleeves. One evening, as Sam locked up, Ellie whispered, Daddy, do you like Miss Emmy? Sam smiled, watching Emily laugh with a customer. Yeah, he said softly. I really do. Somewhere between a broken truck and a borrowed wrench, a millionaire heiress and a single mechanic dad had found something rare. Not a deal, not a debt, but something worth fixing together.